open meeting, and we're in the commission. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't have my mic on. So everyone's back in, and we'll resume our open meeting. We're at commission reports, and we'll lead off with Commissioner Headley.
Yes, I guess, I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Butch Billingsley to, I guess, the president of the Firefighters Association.
He'd be a member of the 911 board.
Me?
No, he would be,
He would,
We don't have to appoint him to the fire association, do we? We just have to,
Well,
appoint him to the
accept his-
911 board.
right,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what, right?
right. That's what we'll be doing. He'll be appointed
As the-
through our appointing authority
Yeah.
as the fire board's representative to the 911 board,
President
president
of
of the Firefighters Association.
Yes.
Correct. Okay?
Gotcha.
Have a motion. You get that?
I make that motion, that we appoint,
I done made the
Accept-
motion,
oh,
you making second.
second. I'll try to clear it.
So we're just appointing him to the 911 board as the president of the Firefighters Association.
Yes.
Okay? So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, we don't have we have no other commission report, so we'll go on to the administrator reports. So, Ms. Sylvia?
I would like to request a resolution to close the nominations for the Chilton Shelby Mental Health Board.
Actually, I would like to make a nomination before we close. I would like to nominate Terry Connell. And Whitney, are you withdrawing your nomination?
I'm good either way.
Okay,
Well, sounds like she's not.
okay. So now, your resolution, Ms. Sylvia.
Request a resolution to close the nominations for the Chilton Shelby Mental Health Board.
Okay,
So moved. Second.
we have a motion and a second.
How many nominations do we have?
We have one, and what Whitney has said was she would be willing to serve, but she's kind of got her plate full, so whatever we want, either way. So I guess her name's still in the hat, unless she removes it.
Yeah.
Sir?
If she don't withdraw.
Right, okay.
What, if it would just make it easier, I can withdraw. I mean, we all know my plate is very full, so,
It would make it easier.
well, then I withdraw.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a resolution could I get a resolution to appoint Terry Connell to
So
the
moved.
Chilton?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, and I will notify her. Jimmy, can you notify the board or help Sylvia with that
We'll have a board meeting tomorrow, tell her to be there.
tomorrow?
11 o'clock, yeah.
Okay,
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock at
Jeff State.
at the Jeff State,
okay,
if she
Okay.
can.
at Jeff State.
Put her on the
I'll
spot.
tell her to call you.
Put her on the
How about
spot, yeah.
that? Okay.
Were there any nominations for the Board of Equalization?
Sylvia, we're gonna have to leave that open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have they submitted any names? Have they, any of the new present members want
No.
to stay on?
No, sir, no one has.
Get plenty of nominees for that.
Well, the last nomination we sent to the board was declined, and it was one of those mutual consent things.
Really?
Yeah, you nominate somebody and they have to approve the nomination, and that was one of the jointly appointed. So our nomination was not taken, and they decided to go with a different nomination for that. And I don't know about this particular seat, if that's one of the jointly appointed positions or not. And that's one thing we may need to find out.
Yeah, I think she needs to find out that, because there's no use us nominating
Yeah, if
somebody
they gonna
if they're
turn
not
somebody
gonna
down.
agree.
Oh,
But that did happen.
wow.
Are we nominating the whole board, or we just nominating one person? One,
They actually asked for 3 nominations.
what I thought it's the whole board.
Okay.
So my understanding is that possibly the city of Clanton nominates one person, the state nominates one person, we nominate one person, and then I think there's a joint nomination that everybody has to agree on. I think that's,
They nominated 3 in the city council meeting.
Yeah.
Peggy Hall was one of them. I didn't know the other 2.
okay. We need to find out more about
Clarification
those
on that.
requirements
Yeah.
before we go any further, but
That would be.
we've got several people that we might can reach out to if we know. But-
I
but-
think we have 3 nominations. I'm pretty sure we do.
Okay. Can we chase that rabbit and see?
Sure.
Okay.
Request a resolution to, an agreement with, Spectrum on the franchise, with, Chairman Parnell as signatory.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed,
Can I ask a quick question?
please.
Roger, do we need to make a motion to leave that Board of Equalization nominations open in a motion? Since it is the last, we have 3 hearings.
But you don't have any nominees.
No, we don't
We
have
can
any.
just table it.
But we have a
Just table it.
procedure.
I think you can table it.
Okay.
Just make a motion to table it.
Yes.
I'm gonna make that motion.
Second, Ms. Second?
Please.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to table the nomination to the Board of Equalization. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Request a resolution, to agree to the Renaissance, quarterly distributions with the administrator as signatory.
I'll make that motion. And, we want to revisit this in June. May I add that for the record?
That's not what she's talking about,
No.
Jimmy.
That ain't the same thing?
No.
Okay.
This
Let's
is
get a
just-
second before we
I'm
discuss.
sorry. A second.
We got a motion and a second. All right, open for discussion.
Jimmy, what this is, if I'm not mistaken, Miss Sylvia, this is just to receive the quarterly dividend.
That is
Am I
correct. And
Right.
I am their contact.
Is it an emergency money that we really got to have? No more than it is?
It is,
But they have to issue
the
it,
amount,
right?
I think if they don't
They
issue
can
it,
roll
then-
over, reinvest.
I got you.
That's my point.
If you invest in, why would you pull the money out unless you have to have it?
Got you.
whatever the agreement is, was long before I
Right.
came on board, so,
The latest one was 2003.
So-
And last year it was renewed in June, I think. And it would stay the same, getting quarterly dividends, but they were so small, why would we even collect them unless you had to have them? And just not roll the.
It's the point of saving money.
That's the point of investing.
Maintenance.
I got
this
you.
is the jail maintenance fund.
Well, if we're gonna talk about this fund, that opens up a whole different slate of issues. We have money that, and Steve has put a lot of work into this, so I won't try to steal your thunder. But we have money that's sitting there in bonds that we've actually lost money on this year. Not only have we lost money on it, but we've lost the potential for guaranteed FDIC returns from a bank. And when you compound those losses, we're a sizable number now. I don't know exactly what that is, but that's something that this commission needs to revisit between now and June.
That's what I was.
And what we need to find out, and I think this was our holdup last year, we need to find out what the restrictions are on that money, because if there are restrictions that requires it to be invested in bonds, we gotta stay where we are. But if it allows us to pull it out and put it in a certificate of deposit, we can get a better guaranteed rate of return off of a certificate than what we're getting now. And Steve's put a lot of work into this, and he's dead right that it is our fiduciary responsibility as a county to get the most return on that money. And I think we need to open that can all the way back up and not get blindsided in our last meeting before renewal, where we have to sign another year agreement.
Roger, are we correct? We are the fiduciary for the county. We're not allowed to lose any of the public's money, am I correct?
Well, you're not allowed to be reckless with the public money. You can't guarantee. But there are approved investments for which that money
Right.
can depart. And you need to make sure that your deposits are within those
I got you.
deposits. And all the banks have those accounts. I mean,
Okay.
So, Mr. Langston, you recommend that we just continue to invest? Is that what you're saying, probably? Because I can resend my resolution. You know more about this than I do.
Go ahead,
Not
Ms.
what we're
Hill.
talking about.
That's not what we're talking about.
This
The
is,
deposit, you said lead a deposit.
No, to
To
receive,
receive.
to allow her to receive those quarterly distributions, off of this, rather than reinvesting those distributions.
Well, I'd kind of have to defer to her. Do you need this money that's coming in?
we need every dime we can get.
So, good.
I make a motion that we keep receiving
I've
quarterly
already made
payments.
that motion.
I
You second.
rescind, go back to Jimmy.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Now, on that issue, since we've been discussing it, I would like to ask Steve and Sylvia to engage our new council and let's find out what those restrictions are on that money. And let's begin preparing ourselves to make a decision before we sign another year-long agreement with Renaissance. And that may be the best option we have, but we need to know more about this. So when this came up last year, we were kind of in a process where we didn't have an opportunity because it kind of hit blindsided us.
Can I
Mr.
ask a
Chairman,
question on this, Mr.
Please.
Chairman? Sylvia, do you get a statement when you get the quarterly deal where the count's at that time? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I've also like to ask that we allow Mr. Steve with the Miss Sylvia to look at our other options as he did before, and he done a good job, and ask him would he continue to look at that and see what we can do if there is other options approved by the attorney.
Well, the last time there was a committee, it was our sitting attorney, Joseph, and myself.
Well, I'd like to
I'll
be a part of that
it,
committee.
whatever's needed.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we need a committee, but you guys, I would just encourage y'all without an appointment to work together and come back and make a presentation to the commission about what your ideas are as to how we should handle that. And y'all can do that as a collective group without an official appointed committee, because you're within your rights as an elected official of Chilton County to do that. So Jimmy has asked that he work with you on that, and
If you need
Miss
my help.
Sylvia and our attorney, all of you work together, Steve, and come back and make some recommendations prior to the renewal.
do we know when the renewal is?
June.
June?
This was originally done in 1983, if I'm not mistaken. Then it was done again in 2003. I think I'm correct on all that.
This is, do y'all remember where this money came from that's invested within? Is that the hospital
The
sale?
original sale of the old hospital.
Yeah,
didn't
it's
it
the
have-
other half of that, isn't that right? Okay, all right, great. Okay, so, Alan, you got it in front of you, keep me from digging for it, will you?
Well, we got the final economic strategy plan that's gonna be Thursday night at 6 o'clock.
The 18th.
Oh, the 18th, that's next Thursday night.
Next Thursday night, the 18th,
And it's gonna be at the Central Alabama Electric Co-op at 6 p.m.
okay.
Next week.
Whitney, just as a public, will you highlight what that is? Just 2 minutes, 1 minute, yes, please.
Yes, the economic strategic final plan is we had started a hired a group, the Next Move group, I guess in October, and we had a series of town hall meetings and interviews with citizens throughout the county, and started from Jemison all the way to Verbena, east to west, and went through the strategic economic. It was quality of life, economic development, existing industry, anything that had to do with what could generate and grow this county was involved in this strategic plan. The company put all of our thoughts together, went through all the interviews, evaluated everything, and they have the final report, and the report will be presented next Thursday night at 6 o'clock on the 18th at the Verbena Central Alabama Electric Co-op office.
And that'll be who we want to be, who we could be, what's
Yes.
feasible, what's not feasible. And,
Well, everything's gonna be feasible, but everything comes with a price.
okay, so they put together kind of a collective of where everybody would like to see us to develop, so we could use that to develop a
So in the-
long-range plan.
So in the room, when we were going through it, they went through the entire room and went through every single subject, whether it was agriculture, recreation, school, workforce development, hospital needs, basic healthcare needs outside of the hospital type venue, anything that you could, trails, parks, city and county governments, anything inside the quality of life. And then they also went through the economic development, business, existing business and industry, small business, large industry, what types of industries we want to recruit in clusters. And then you moved into the actual community and the geographic location. And we broke it down from Jemison to Thorsby, the Lake Park, Clanton, Verbena, and we went through, Maplesville, Isabella. So we covered all those bases. And then, so we went through and did all those different ideas. And they took that. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to say, if you want a trail system that runs through the entire county down 31, it's going to cost you $18 million. Here's some ways you can do it. Here's some options that you have. If you want to do business and industry recruitment, it's going to cost you X. If you want to build up your park system, it's going to cost you X. If you want to build a workforce development system, if you want to raise a monument in the middle of the town square of a peach, it's going to cost you X. So it's I mean, I know that's kind of, but it's going to go through everything, because I don't know what was said in the interviews. And then there was, I forgot, there was a survey also that people could take. So they take it, they evaluate based on what other people are doing throughout the country, communities that are the size of ours, as well as communities smaller than us and larger than us. And then they also evaluate the cost of what something would cost, if you can get public funding, private funding, how you crowdfunding, different things like that.
Okay. So this is kind of a way to build a long-range plan based on what the perceived needs are in the county and the wants are in the county.
That's correct.
So this will be something that's very interesting for those of you who are interested in the growth of Chilton County and who we are and who we want to be 20 years from now, or 10 years from now, or 100 years from now. So
Yes.
encourage y'all to attend.
And so I guess this is open to the public. Is that what?
Yes.
Pretty much.
The room is not, extremely large, so.
Right, and it does require an RSVP.
It does require an RSVP to my email, which is the longest email in the world, wbarlow@chiltoncountyeconomicdevelopment.org.
Okay.
You gonna send out a reminder?
Do what now?
You gonna send out a reminder?
Yes, I'll send you out a reminder as well. If y'all want to put it up on your website and Facebook, you coming too? So, do we want to do a poll right now? Of who's going to be there? But it's, Sylvia and Billy have already RSVP'd. They were my first people. But, I think it'll be very interesting. The one thing that wasn't in it, because it wasn't announced yet, is the farm center, but everything around the farm center was in it. Because remember, like we said in the beginning, the farm center is the catalyst. That is going to be one project and one project alone. It is one that's going to jump a lot of stuff from going, but it is not our only economic development in this county. So, is
Great.
that good?
Perfect, thanks for the update. All right, before we adjourn, are there any other issues that we need to tackle tonight? Is there anything I've missed? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries, meeting adjourned.